Monsters, monsters, monsters! You've been jumping at the bit for more monsters, and here comes something that isn't quite that. From the creators behind such herbivores as Kelby, and such gathering points as bone piles. Also, fishing. Comes a multitude of features never before asked for, but still given. These are the 10 best things in Monster Hunter World.
Alright everybody, let's get right into this super seriously. This video is essentially me, as someone who has never played a Monster Hunter game before World, sending my love letter to the developers. It may not pertain to the most serious parts of the game, but they are nonetheless my favorites.
Number 10.
The Wiggler helmet. Whoa, hold on, I know. In what world is the Wiggler helmet on this list? The answer is Monster Hunter World. That's the world. But more importantly, how is it on here and only number 10? Well, hold your goddamn horses. We got a doozy coming up for you right here. This one is sort of the mascot for all of the special armors we've gotten since the release of this game 5 months ago. Between this helmet, the Kulu helmet, I am the Squawk in the Night, some of the more outlandish crossover armors, and all of the little things like the rocket power— Whoa.
Rocket-powered greatsword!
All of the parts of this game that let you take it a little less seriously without taking away from other people's fun, those are A-okay in my book.
Number 9.
The Elder Melder. I mean, just look at her face. She brightens my day every time I pass by, and just to think of what could be in that pot makes me— Wait, what? Wait, you're telling me that you can interact with her? You can craft hard to manage items like ancient potions and pitfall traps? You can craft gems from endgame monsters? You can mess with RNGesus? This is the 9th best thing that I have ever seen in this game! But on a more serious note, as a new player, finding out about the Melder was a fantastic experience. My first time melding jewels, I was absolutely filled with hope, and for a number of months I continued being full of hope, just sort of melding the hell out of whatever wasn't useful towards the set I was currently using, being sure that I would never regret it. These days, I regret it.
I regret nothing!
I don't know how many jewels I melded that I wish I hadn't, but I am now at the point where I play 7 or 8 weapons fairly consistently, and reacquiring jewels that I know I have already had at one point or another is absolutely demoralizing. That said, the RNG of the melding is a nice, entertaining way to get rid of the extra jewels you will inevitably pick up on your quest for a single extra attack jewel that will probably take you the rest of your life. The item creation is a nice bonus for the sake of some of the more annoying things to gather that can't be replicated at the botanical research tree. The big thing from this though, at least for me, is the ability to craft such rare gems from monsters like Zora Magdaros or Xenojiva that don't have investigations for them and therefore don't sort of just get passively collected while farming. Most late game gems you'll wind up with just from farming for decorations. These two you'll only get if you're specifically targeting those monsters, so it is nice to have this ability with this combination. Combination with what, you ask?
Number 8.
These 3 people that all serve exactly the same purpose and somehow know exactly what you talked about with their cohorts, even if they were facing a different direction at the time. Basically, this section is all about investigations and bounties. Getting lucky feels good. I've already talked about the luck with the melding, but before the melding, first you have to get lucky. In order to have the opportunity to do which, you need to have some more luck, and to even get to that stage you have to have a first state of luck where you get the investigations in the first place. The quality of said investigations is also based on luck, as the second you get it, your heart just flutters with the possibility of the beautiful 5-box investigation you could get just might be waiting for you, and then you talk to that cute little construction gnome with the really squeezable cheeks, and it's a 2-box. What is this? But when it goes your way, oh boy is it a rush! And that isn't even the main thing I love about these 3 people. I honestly think they might be robots. But the bounty system, that is their main draw for me. Specifically, the limited bounties, which are what combo with the melder that I mentioned earlier, as the rewards for these weekly completable wonders are golden tickets.
I've got a golden ticket.
These golden tickets can be exchanged for late game monster gems and therefore easier farming considerably. A lot of players find this awesome as it gives you something to do every single week, and regardless of if you have plans for the ticket, it feels sort of silly to not just make that little effort to get it. So of course, you go and get your weeklies done.
Number 7.
Multi-monster maps and turf wars. The turf wars are a sort of side point of this, but the main thing that makes me happy here is just the general existence of the monsters in the same habitat. Sure, we can only get 3 at a time, but it really reinforces the world and the environments as being the home of actual monsters, rather than just stages for boss battles. Knowing that all of these monsters actually exist together really establishes a sort of food chain between them, with apex predators actually feeling like they're the apex predators. If you watch them fight a different animal from the area, you'll see just why they hold that title. But then you've got stuff like Devil Joe and Basil Geese who just walk into any area and fuck everything up.
Number 6.
These 3 bone piles, and this fantastic combination of mining nodes and amber deposits, and these 3 bugs. This section is entirely dedicated to both the quality of life with some of the gathering nodes that exist in the maps, and the world building that is shown at the same time. These nodes are such a simple thing, yet such a nice way to make the player feel that tinge of excitement when they reach these areas. Every time I reach one of these gathering areas, I feel like a child in a candy shop if the child was a mass murderer with a bow and arrow, and the candy was a strange mineral that I had no intention of eating.
Number 5.
Just gotta grab some honey and grab me some herbs to make mega potions. Oh, hey, Jagress, how you doing?
Hey, Cotton.
Look at these herbs, look at these mega potions that I am making with herbs and honey. Hey, Anjaneth, how you doing?
I need a nap.
Where
were you?
What do you mean?
There's monsters threatening us, Dara, and all of the living beings around us.
I was gathering honey and herbs so that I could survive with my mega potions. You know, we have a tree for that, right?
No!
The botanical research tree is absolutely amazing and is something that I can attribute one of my greatest
I'm an idiot
moments to in this game. Right near the release of the game, probably the 2nd or 3rd day it was out, Josh and I were planning pro and noob recording nights, and during the day, in order to stay prepared, I spent my free time gathering honey. That's right, I probably spent 2 hours a day over a couple of days just gathering honey. Manually. Then I mentioned it to him offhandedly later in the night, and he laughed at my face for like 5 minutes, and now I can't really blame him. Because once you know about this thing, you can just straight up create a metric shit ton of honey, and pretty much anything else that grows in the world. Right at this handy dandy tree that I somehow never noticed right in the middle of fucking Astera.
Number 4.
This Wedge Beetle.
Number 3.
No, I wouldn't do you guys like that. You know me better than that. It isn't just this Wedge Beetle. It's also this one, and that one, and all of the other ones that I am showing you on the screen. These Wedge Beetles make me happy every single time I get to use them, because in the back of my head, I know I just saved precious seconds of my actual life as a human being by swinging from that wonderful creature. Each and every one of those damn it! Why the hell is there not a Wedge Beetle here?
Number 3.
Dragon Piercer. Now this one sort of goes for all of the flashy moves. The super amped element discharges, the zero sum discharges, the true charges, the big bangs. But the one that has captured my heart the most is the fucking Dragon Piercer. This bad boy is like unleashing a full set of diademic horse-tailed Roman candles right up a monster's ass. The sound it makes on every tick of damage, the monster recoiling in agony, the bright flashing light as it soars onwards throughout the creature. Sorry, Devil Joe, but my arrow has places to be and you are in the damn way. These moves are one of the reasons I, and many hunters like me, come back time and time again with their favorite weapons just to see that one beautiful animation collide with whatever prey you decide to fire it off at today.
Number 2.
The monsters themselves. Now, I could stop there, and most people would agree that these monsters are what make this game what it is, with all of its fantastic environments and all of the just awesomely detailed feel of life that surrounds the place. None of it would matter without them. I mean, literally, without the monsters, this game would just be called Hunter World, and that game sounds super boring to me. But it isn't just the monsters' pure existence that puts them in this spot for me, it's their behavior. Have you ever followed around a Kulu Yaku for 5 minutes, watched him steal an egg, and then full-on sprint off to eat it at his nest? No? You're missing out. Every single monster in this game is an animal at the end of the day, and if you watch them, you will see their habits. You'll see Titsy Yaku flash a wing drake out of the air and eat it. You'll see Great Jagras swallow an Aptonoth whole. You'll see Nergigante scratching his itchy little side on the floor. Or even Anjanath's hunting patterns. But most importantly, this isn't just localized experiences. This extends throughout the entire game. Every single monster lives its own unique life, and it is absolutely awe-inspiring. Honestly, my favorite thing about this is when they sleep. Tell me you can look at a single one of these sleeping monster faces and say, "Ew, get away from me," or
I have to kill this before it wipes out humanity.
no, they're just animals, and they are all cute as shit when they close their eyes. I love you just the way you are, Nergigante.
Honorable mentions.
This fucking waterfall. These 3 Apsaros, which will never give up on their quest to simultaneously cross the bridge every time you load the Wildspire Wastes. The Poogie, he is a very good boy. And now, the one you've all been waiting for.
Number 1.
The Frantz Emote. This emote just yells style, creativity, and most importantly, badassery. No one could ever look bad while doing this, which is why it was number 1 on the list of honorable mentions. Squawk!
Actual number 1.
Update frequency and quality. Oh man, it would be an understatement to say that the developers of Monster Hunter care about their community. The amount of content updates we get, which have all been free, by the way, and have all just been packed chock full of goodies that extend the life of the game by a mile every single time. Even if we forget the smaller events like the crossovers with other titles, which by the way would be a hell of a lot of fun if you're actually into that game, we got stuff like the larger updates like Devil Joe, who shook the entire community off of its feet. Literally, he just won't stop fucking tremoring us! Joe gave most weapon types a brand new best weapon and completely shook up the set meta for the time, which is an awesome way to keep the game fresh for the people who had already put in an extraordinary amount of time. Then came Culve to Wrath. Holy crap, Culve was such a big deal for me. She had an absolutely crazy amount of detail and a quest type that newer players like me had never really done before, with the closest thing in world being Zora Magdaros. But I wouldn't really say that counts quite as much, as you don't really kill him. You just sort of lead him off to the ocean or something. The weapon system that Culve gave us added more of that RNG stuff I hear people like, but also added some cool variant weapon skins, and in fact, some of the weapons that we were given were actually better than what was already available for those weapon types. And of course, we also got an absolutely beautiful armor set with some pretty decent skills to boot, shaking up the meta one more time. Then came Lunastra. The next big one to come at us was awesome for me, but I feel like it may have been even cooler for people that had fought Lunastra in previous games. In older titles, Lunastra was essentially a Teostra spray-painted blue. In Monster Hunter World, she is entirely her own. Only a couple of moves that cross over, but that would of course make sense because they're two monsters who live and therefore hunt together. But aside from that, she had grown into this brand new beast with a crazy cool moveset and an actually difficult fight that had a lot of nuance to it. She even had an awesome story intro to boot. Then, Lunastra also had an amazing armor set, which found itself grabbing set bonuses from two different sets that were already in the game and mashing them together, which gives me so much hope for future sets. And then also weapons! The weapons that she gave us had skill bonuses that came from sets that were again already in the game. Thus again, the meta was shifted. I don't think anyone can speak ill of the quality of these updates, and given the content, the frequency of these updates has been unbelievable. They have had something for absolutely everyone. From the simple joy of seeing a new face either in the form of an entire new monster or new endemic life, exciting the less serious end of the player spectrum,
Excuse me?
all the way to the meta-shifting nature of every single update, exciting the super hardcore players that only want to hunt in the best possible sets. This is what it truly is to support a game post-release, and that is why these updates are my #1 thing in Monster Hunter World. A little disclaimer here at the end. If I had the time, and more importantly, if I thought you guys would actually care, I could probably make this list 100 entries long. This game has changed the way that I look at video games, and it has been a focal point of my life for months now. I honestly can't imagine where I'd be right now without it. I've been Cotton Dinosaur. Like if you liked the video, subscribe for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, stay sweet.